The Left Show is not intended for youngsters. It's not intended for the sensitive. It's certainly not intended for right-wingers. Use your own discretion. Awful sweary.
The network children ask for by name. The Defenestrate Media Network.
The world's greatest podcast network.
It's Monday in America, and you are listening to the world's greatest political podcast, J.M. Bell's The Left Show.
You know who the best-looking person sitting up there was? Who was it with the cowboy hat?
No, J.M. Bell.
J.M. Bell. I don't know who that is.
He hosts a podcast.
Welcome. This week I've got, of course, I've got Clarity. Say hello, Clarity.
Of course.
And I've got JC.
Hello, Clarity.
No, I'm trying to come at this. I got my energy up. Woohoo!
Woo!
We're doing a yay. Big week in the news. So I want to knock a couple things out that are not in the link roundup, and they're not in the link roundup more just because I couldn't figure out how to shoehorn them in no matter how important they are. And the first one being the assault, the absolute racist assault on this Army lieutenant who was driving his new car home and was getting pulled over for not having a rear license plate, even though you can see in the video the temporary tag on his new fucking car. And he was
driving while black. That's against the law in a lot of states in this country, apparently.
Yeah. And it was horrific to watch. Mm-hmm. He was calm. He was polite the whole time, and he was afraid for his life. We will probably talk more about that next week because I don't see that as something that's going to go away. No. The other thing that got brought to
something that can it is something that can cause riots is what it can do. Yeah.
And should. Mm-hmm. That's what riots are for.
Yeah.
The other thing that got brought to my attention was the Derek Chauvin trial. We talked about this oddly a little bit on the comic book show, but I don't. The guy's guilty as fuck. We've all seen the video. Okay, we got 10 minutes of him basically just strangling a man to death with his knee. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there's some tricky shit on the defense that they've tried right now while the prosecution lays its case. But this next week, the defense is going to lay out its case, at which point this is just going to get really racist and really stupid.
Yep.
More stupid. And honestly, what I am watching is a march to an injustice that is going to spark off another set of riots. Mm-hmm. And I support that reaction. And if any of you are flying a black and white flag with a blue stripe on it, one, I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening in the first place. But two, yeah, you know what? Sometimes we need to break the fucking dishes because that is exactly what needs to happen in moments like these, because otherwise you're not paying fucking attention. Derek Chauvin murdered a man. He was a murder
we all saw
several times. Yeah, we've all seen it
from multiple angles.
And he was told by people there. He was told by paramedics. He was told by at least one of the other cops. You know, get off him, man. Get off him. And he didn't. And the guy died. And now they're looking for any fucking excuse that they can. And like I said, I think he gets off. Only because that's what's happened every other time before.
Yeah, our country does not have a good track record with this at all. In fact, it has the worst track records. He will likely get off. If he gets any kind of conviction, it will be nothing more than a slap on the wrist in comparison to the weight of his crime.
Yeah.
If myself and America's behavior with cops murdering people were to run a mile, the track record would be worse for America.
Yes.
And that's something. I did a metaphor. Yes, I did.
I saw what you did there. That was very clever.
It was not clever. It was pretty piss poor as well. So, I mean, we got a lot of news, but I wanted to just knock a couple of those out of the way. We haven't really delved into it more because I don't think there's that much to say about the Derek Chauvin thing, other than to wait and see what fucking indignities Black Americans have to fucking suffer this time.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet really how to process this video. I ended up watching twice last night, and again this morning on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is an Army lieutenant, and a bunch of podunk, shit-kicking, hayseed, motherfucking badge clowns treated him so egregiously and so full of racism and drunk on their own power. And you hear it when one of the cops, you see, what the fuck are you? You some kind of specialist? Like, oh, what are you? Low enlisted? No, he's a fucking lieutenant, dummy.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot. So
you who couldn't qualify to get into the Army, so you had to join the police force. Yeah.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. And that's just where we are with this at the moment. So I'm in a mood to swear a little bit. So let's do a quick check-in, see what's been going on with you guys for the last couple of weeks, and then we'll just jump right into the news. Who wants to go first?
Fair enough.
Clarity, you go first.
Okay. Just working. And I got jabbed last week, and my girl spawn and husband got jabbed yesterday. So everybody in this house has gotten one jab, which is really quite a relief.
So no Johnson & Johnsons for the Sanderson family.
No, we are Pfizer over here. This girl is on Pfizer. Sorry,
I
was really wanting to do that.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so happy.
We were talking about this. Jeff was saying, because he and I are about to get our second jabs this week of Moderna. And it was like everybody was saying, stay the hell away from Moderna. Stay the hell away from Moderna. It's like, what's the only one you can get easily in this state? Moderna. So when you can make an appointment for,
Moderna.
It's about the only vaccine you can find. Yeah.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Now it's tracking down whose website. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, Tiffany found Johnson & Johnson in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
really?
What the fuck, man?
We were due to have a bunch of them here, but then didn't.
Yeah, they opened it up, and I think they're in a rush because we expired the legislature, the state legislature expired our mask mandate, the statewide mask mandate yesterday.
Oh my God.
The Salt Lake City mayor and Salt Lake County has decided, no, there's still a mask mandate. Suck it up and just deal with it, which is good. There was.
I don't think Salt Lake County did. I think the council voted to let it expire.
I guess
seriously.
Maybe they did.
So it's just the city.
Yeah, I don't know that any has the emergency powers to do it. I think it's just Salt Lake City.
But they have they have stated that any public building, you better be wearing a mask, is basically their thing, and the private businesses are allowed to are allowed to let people wear a mask and force people to wear a mask. And I'm like, yeah, basically, Utah feeling like a microcosm of the United States. The majority of our legislative critters, our Republican legislative critters, come from these counties that have tiny populations. They're all rural counties that have tiny populations. Right. And these are the fuckers who pushed this through and got it done. But the fact that Cox signed this bill, even though he was himself, for mask mandates from the very beginning, he signed a bill saying, well, people will do the right thing. I'm like, have you met people in this state?
Right.
What's wrong with
Let's leave it up to the people. Sure.
Did you not meet your former boss?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
with
right?
You? And basically, it's like you have to put up signs now. You have to say, I noticed there was a sign on the door of of Dr. Volt's when I went there yesterday. It's about the only store.
Yeah, I wrote that up early in the week, basically saying that we will be wearing masks and requiring staff and guests to wear masks until at least May 31st, and probably longer. I personally think it'll go well into the summer. But regardless, we're doing that at Dr. Volt's and at the Nerd Store. And I have a feeling that Nerd Store is going to have a much harder time with that than I am, just based on clientele and mall people versus comic shop people. They've already had a little rub about it, and whereas I threw it up on the Facebook page and it was a bunch of people saying, "Way to go, saving lives, woo!" And I'm like, "I'm a superhero." Masks, baby. All right, let's do some news. This one starts with a sounder.
Tonight there are Matt Gaetz' payments to women. The New York Times has reviewed payment receipts in the federal investigation into whether the Republican congressman and close Trump ally paid cash to women for sex and whether he had a relationship with a 17-year-old. I'm going to speak with a reporter who saw those receipts in just a moment. First, though, Paula Reed is out front with all the late developments in this case.
Tonight, the federal investigation into Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz for possible prostitution and sex trafficking crimes, including an alleged relationship with a minor, now centering around his friendship with this man, Joel Greenberg.
It really is an honor to be here today.
In addition, investigators believe Greenberg, a former Seminole County, Florida tax collector, recruited multiple women online for sex, and that he introduced the women who received cash payments to Gaetz, who had sex with them too, according to the New York Times. The Times said it reviewed Apple Pay and Cash App receipts that show Gaetz and Greenberg made payments to one of the women and one payment from Greenberg to a different woman. In a statement, Gaetz' office said, Matt Gaetz has never paid for sex. Matt Gaetz refutes all the disgusting allegations completely.
Providing for flights and hotel rooms for people that you're dating who are of legal age is not a crime.
But a source telling CNN, investigators are examining whether any federal campaign money was involved in paying for travel and expenses for the women. Gaetz and Greenberg have been friends for years, posting photos together, and Gaetz even telling a local radio station that Greenberg would make a good member of Congress in 2017.
If Joel were to run from Seminole County, I think he becomes the next congressman from the 7th District.
The duo, according to a Florida lawmaker, leaving an unsolicited voicemail on her cell phone. She gave a recording of the message to CNN.
This is your favorite tax collector. I'm up in the Panhandle with your favorite U.S. Congressman, Mr. Gaetz.
Hi, Anna.
And we were just chatting about you and talking about your lovely qualities. And
we think you're the future of the Democratic Party in Florida.
Additionally, information that may connect Gaetz to a fake ID scheme at the center of Greenberg's case was presented to federal investigators at a meeting last year.
Okay, so Matt Gaetz is a slimy creature, and I think that we all knew this already.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes. he is a bag of wind with a good haircut. That's all there is to it. It's not even that good of a haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong; he's got a better hairline than I do, but I think
he's got a lot more hair than I do on the top of his head. That's for sure.
He's got better hair than I do.
Yeah.
So everything we know pretty much summed up in that clip. That thankfully we're not popular enough anymore.
Honestly, can I just say I believe both sides? I believe that, yes, this guy got him prostitutes, and also Matt Gaetz does not pay for sex. I think he stiffed these women in two different ways. Yeah.
However, okay, I am enjoying the joke, but we already have proof.
Yes,
that the money has been spent on the women.
Oh yeah,
really
yeah,
dumb proof. Super dumb proof.
Well, and it's like everything else we've seen for the last 5 years from the Republican Party. It's overt, it's obvious, and yet none of these fuckers seem to suffer any consequences for anything that they do.
And I would like to once again just flex a little on the disgusting phrase underage woman.
Yes.
No,
yes.
It was a child.
It was a child.
That's really it. And the news needs to pull it. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot at my age. There are. We have talked about this before. There are of age ladies in the world, I don't look at, no matter how attractive they are, in anything other than a passing, like, oh, look at that kind of way, just because they look young, as opposed to actually being young. Fuck, what is wrong with these two pieces of shit? How do you do that? How do you be in your 30s and be
Republican from Florida?
Kids?
That's what's
Yeah.
that's just the top of the list. Republican and from Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But Gaetz, I mean, what a creeper. I mean, just absolute creeper.
If this and the thing is this isn't the kind of thing that drives these fuckers out of office. He may wind up getting driven out of office, but it's only because he's actually facing criminal charges. But like we saw that with what's his name from Minnesota, the comedian
Al Franken.
Al Franken just gets run off because of one thing that he's like, actually, I think it was a joke, but I she remembers it differently than I did. And they're like, you should resign. We just don't tolerate that sort of thing here in the party. He goes, okay, I'll resign. And it's like Matt Gaetz. It's like all the Democrats are saying you should resign. He's like, well, your party doesn't tolerate it, but my party doesn't seem to have a problem with it. And that's the big difference, right? Is that that party doesn't give a shit about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's evangelical Christianity, man.
Yeah.
GOPG.
The family values party, all that bullshit. It's like, it's all bullshit when it comes down to it, because none of you believe that. You have your single issue voters who don't want to have abortions because you saw those pictures of mutilated babies and that was enough for you. And then everything else is just you regurgitating shit you've heard from Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity or Michael Savage or Fox News or whatever other, or your stupid uncle who you think is so smart, whatever it is. That's all you are. And you don't care about this stuff. If you actually did care about this stuff, it's like, where the fuck is QAnon with their child trafficking bullshit with Matt Gaetz? Where are they?
Child trafficking carries a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of life.
Yeah, if he doesn't weasel his way out of any convictions here, he's looking at some serious jail time. But it's not likely he'll get it because he's white Republican, and in Florida he's a person of power. He's probably going to weasel right out of it, just like what's his name, the cop in Minneapolis. Welcome to America.
Arkansas passed an anti-transgender children's bill that is making it America's worst state for trans kids. And it basically has criminal penalties for doctors that treat the kids. The governor of Arkansas vetoed the bill, saying basically that it was one tiny step too far in that it denied medical access to doctors to children. And the Arkansas state legislature, run by Republicans, overrode the veto.
Of course.
And Tuesday, Arkansas became the first state to ban gender-affirming healthcare for minors. There's more than a dozen proposed bills in other state legislatures. We had ours here in Utah, and I did as I was asked, and I did not challenge anyone to a fight this year, which felt really strange, and I'm still against it. But cooler heads prevailed. I took their advice, shut my fucking yap, which, as I mentioned, was difficult. And instead, unlike Herbert before him, Cox met with these kids and they got through to him on an emotional level. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Had Herbert still been in office, I would not have heeded any advice to keep my yap shut. But I wanted and thought maybe, just maybe, Cox is more genuine a person. Don't get me wrong, Herbert was quite genuine. It's just that his genuine happened to be bent legislator.
Yeah. His genuine was to be your dad, basically. Yeah. And not the good dad, the conservative Mormon dad, basically.
Yeah. and or the available Jones.
Yeah.
You can buy me.
Yep.
I mean, he admitted in public with reporters around that he was available for purchase by lobbyists.
Yep. I'm available. I am for sale.
It did not ding his popularity at all.
Nope.
Not one fucking bit, because Utah's that goddamn dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I thought maybe Cox had a little heart in him. I thought that maybe he's more of a human being, a good human being, who just happens to have grown up in a rural area and is a Republican by proxy. You know, there's Southern Democrats. It's family tradition.
People will do the right thing. Left to their own devices.
I didn't say he was fucking dumb sometimes. But
it's like he gets one right, he has to balance it out with getting one wrong. That's how it works.
But it comes down to this, and it is the self-blindness of the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
Is they believe that transgender thoughts and feelings are a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what they are fine with doing is singling out people they think have a mental illness and blocking them from any kind of health care.
They're saving them from themselves.
Yeah, even if
That's what they think.
Even if it is a mental illness, blocking them from health care is not the right thing to do.
Yep.
I mean,
you're just picking on kids.
You're just picking on kids at that point.
You know?
No matter how you feel about it, whether you think they're making a decision that's based upon certain feelings and factors and everything else, or they have a mental illness, it doesn't matter. You're picking on kids by denying them any health care in any direction.
And in what is probably, I think, the most telling part of this all
mm-hmm.
is that the governor of Arkansas, in his veto, vetoed because he considered it a vast governmental overreach.
Yeah.
So basically, based on his libertarian leanings,
right?
You know, it was the government butting its head in too far. Not we're trying to keep suicide rates down. Not we're trying to save children. Not every kid should have access to a doctor. Nothing on a humanitarian level. More on the states' rights issues that cause all those problems in the American South.
Well, and that's why I call bullshit on these libertarian Republicans. Because if it was truly libertarian, nobody would give a shit what you do or who you are. Nobody would give a shit about it. That's not part of the whole thing. Nobody cares. You know, it's more about having your own individual rights and being able to do whatever you want. It's basically anarchy. It's basically anarchy where we all get along for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's what true libertarianism is.
Because I studied true.
Yeah, I wanted to be a libertarian for a while, and then I realized they're a bunch of fucking lunatics, and that's the end of it. But the idea is, and then the fact is that you have to look beyond your own 50 feet that most people see in.
I would like less laws about my behavior. I would love less laws about my specific behaviors. Well, not anymore. I'm pretty boring now, but maybe in my 20s, less law would have been pretty fucking awesome. I would have gotten a lot less trouble. You know,
exactly.
And I get it. Looking back, now that I am aged and decrepit, now that I am in my dotage, I look back and I go, there should be laws against some of the shit I did when I was at the very least.
Some law. Oh wait, there is one.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. And now you got West Virginia. They passed an anti-trans athlete bill, which is the toehold that a lot of these insane. You show me the track record. I dare you. I fucking double dare you to show me the track record of Republicans in any legislature or federal government laying out a track of women's rights and protections. We can't even get the fucking Violence Against Women Act reenacted.
Yeah.
Right.
So show me where all of a sudden you give a shit about anything other than trans people are different. You are afraid of change. You are afraid of anything. You're just afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how you lash out, and or probably more specifically, you don't have anything to show the American people. You don't have a platform. You don't have plans. You don't have a forward motion. all you have is hate, racism, bigotry, and in order to you don't have a fucking COVID plan, you don't have a healthcare plan, you don't have infrastructure plans, you don't have internet, broadband, rural electrification plans. In fact, you've been fighting those for decade after decade. And so what do you have to do? You got to find another boogeyman, and you did it in 2004 and in between there with marriage equality. And that blew up in your face way too long later, and out of Utah, no less. And so you're like, well, here's the next thing to try and freak out the people about, because Farmer Jed out there in fucking rural ass county, once he's done banging his cousin, is worried that he's going to get hit on at the milk bar by, some sort of, it's just fucking insane. Ugh. You know what? I don't know a trans person that's going to hit on you, Jed. No. Don't worry about it.
I don't know a straight person that's going to hit on you, Jed. Just knock it off. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason you're banging your cousin. Creepy fucker. Get out of here, cousin. But yeah, there is a wave of bills all across the United States coming from Republicans. At least 28 state legislatures are currently weighing measures that would bar transgender youth from participating in sports or receiving medical treatment at all. Some have already passed. Arkansas passed it. We said, was it Kentucky?
Is there any group out there with the prescience that we had, that Utah weirdly had, to immediately, take this to court? Because it should be taken to court immediately, and we should start getting federal, federal decisions about this first at the local level, and then taking all the way up to the Supreme Court to state this is a violation of your basic rights, and it needs to be.
Well,
stopped.
It comes down to there's at least a dozen measures in other states to bar transgender children from gender affirming care, and in some cases criminalize treatment. This is coming from the American Civil Liberties Union. Those wackadoodles. But the GOP focus on transgender related issues is not new. Not new at all. You guys remember the bathroom bills?
Of course.
Those are the ones that got North Carolina in trouble.
Yep.
Right.
And they're just picking on my kids.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
I love these kids. There are no better children than I have met than these little transgender kids. I fucking love them.
Well, and that's just it. It's like, on the one end I see, Jesus, seems like all of a sudden we have all these people coming out as transgender and not wanting to identify gender or anything. And it's like, yeah, because it became something that suddenly became it came into the forefront. It became a popular thing, but if people aren't doing it just because it's fashionable, it's that this is the way they suddenly go, oh, that's what's going on. That's why I'm so fucked up. And they move and they start.
It is, as much as it feels like it's not, it is a safer place for them to come out.
Exactly.
The world is a safer place.
The world is a safer place for them to come out and make this announcement even more so than it ever has been. Even in a place where they want to take away all your rights, this is still a safer time and safer place to do this. And for a lot of people, this was a revelation. It was like, hey, maybe my problem isn't that I'm, my depression and everything isn't stemming from places that I can't identify. It's stemming from the fact that I'm living a gender I shouldn't have to live. And they change, and all of a sudden everything changes for them. I look at friends of ours who, in one minute they were practically a cripple, and the next minute everything was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you figure it out and you're living your real life,
Yeah. It's like live your real authentic life. And I'm, I challenge a Christian. I'll say, you know what? Be an atheist for a month. Oh, I can't do that. Great. Now you understand maybe a little bit. Fuckwit.
That's pretty good. All right, look, we're coming to the end of the half an hour. We're going to head into some commercials here in just a minute. So let's just do that. And then come back on the other side with a whole shitload of news. It looks like we're pushing a whole bunch into Patreon this week. Yeah.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
This week on the world's greatest comic book podcast, we remember Walter Olkowitz, Mark Elliott, and DMX.
Oh, bother.
Paramount has scheduled a new Star Trek film for 2023.
To infinity and beyond.
Maverick has been delayed again.
Talk to me, Goose.
Indiana Jones 5 is cast as female lead.
It's not the age, it's the mileage.
On TV, First Contact Day had big announcements for Star Trek television. American Gods has been canceled at Stars.
Figures.
Netflix has some good news.
Good news, everyone.
In comic books, Action Comics #1 sells for $3.25 million.
I'm going to hang it right there.
Misogynist Jordan Peterson has been cast as the Red Skull by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yes, he is the bad guy.
DC will debut a new Asian superhero. We review Green Lantern, the other history of the DCU, Tankers, and Geiger. All this in a Game of Thrones on Broadway.
Bang, my sister. Bang, my sister.
Face front, true believers. It's the world's greatest comic book podcast. Available Tuesdays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and thecomicbookpodcast.com.
What do you think my neighbors think? That twice in the last hour I've broken into song and it's all incest.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
For some reason, you are still listening to The Left Show. All right, then, here's some more of that, I suppose.
There is more of it. There's so much more of it. I don't think we're going to get to it all.
There is more of it.
But it's time for In Local News. Yeah, I don't have a sound.
News.
Former Salt Lake City Police Department officer is the second Utahn arrested for the insurrection at the Capitol building.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. It's on the same day, Officer William Evans died during another attack on the Capitol. Here in Utah, the FBI arrested a second Utahn for his part in the insurrection on January 6th. Investigators say that the former police officer and 50-year-old Michael Hardin was inside the Capitol, and they could prove it, with photos and cell phone data.
Go figure.
A tipster tells federal authorities that Hardin texted him, "We stormed the Capitol, and I am in here now. I know you don't like Trump, but he is the rightful president."
Who knew he was Antifa?
We will return until we win, said Hardin. I like that you find yourself a nice liberal to confess to.
Yes.
And you think we're going to keep your secret.
I know you don't like Trump. You know who else I don't like?
I don't like you.
Yeah.
Moving on to Texas. A Texas man was arrested for trying to, quote, kill the internet, end quote.
Yes.
In what may be the most bizarre piece of news this week, a Texas man was arrested for allegedly attempting a plot to blow up a data center in Virginia. The man apparently stated in online chats that he wanted to kill off about 70% of the internet. Seth Aaron Pendley was arrested after allegedly attempting to obtain an explosive device from an undercover FBI agent in Fort Worth, Texas, a stint that was set up after a citizen reported alarming statements meant by the dipshit on an online forum. I'm blowing up the internet. I'm gonna blow it up. That'll take care of everybody but Parler.
Mr. Pendley, what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand in a bucket of water, and pull it out really fast. And the amount of time it takes the water to fill the space where your hand was is how long the internet will actually be down if you did something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other data centers, dummy.
We would fix it fast.
Yeah. Topeka, Kansas. Moving on to Topeka, Kansas. Topeka, Kansas has a local senator named Gene Swallentrop. He was arrested for DUI and fleeing law enforcement. The affidavit search warrant and affidavit of probable cause was released after the disclosure was filed. Swallentrop's blood alcohol was more than twice the legal limit. He called the officer Donut Boy and said that he could take him.
The reason why this man is still alive and in one piece is he's white. He's very, very white. Yeah.
He's a white senator.
Yep.
Donut Boy.
Donut Boy.
Yep. It said the officer's report reveals the Senate Majority Leader commented, all for going the wrong way, and referred to him as Donut Boy. Swellentrop, 69, refused a breathalyzer test. Judge Penny Moylan signed a search warrant for a blood sample. That's where we found out that it was twice the legal limit. At the hospital, the officer writes that Swellentrop became slightly aggressive in his tone and writes that he looked me up and down, stating he played state sports competitively in high school and that he could take me. Did I mention Swellentrop is 69 years old?
And if anybody looks like Donut Boy, look at the photo of Swellentrop. Maybe not Donut Boy, but definitely Doughboy.
Having a bad day.
I played high school football, motherfucker. I'd take you.
Oh.
Okay. Swing.
Take a swing.
Swing away.
Swing away, motherfucker. We won't need that warrant for the blood draw. I'm going to take it from this fucker right now.
We'll just scoop it up off the floor.
Collect what comes out of the fucker's nose. Yeah.
Okay, so Trump's a fuck up.
What?
He's
He's
a walking
the rightful
disaster.
president. What are you talking about?
He's a walking disaster on feet.
Yeah, no shit.
And he obviously stands for a man whose
shuffling
shoes
disaster.
are too tight.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen that. Anyway, he he signed one last piece of paper on his way out of office. And really, just if nothing better encapsulates Trump, he was trying to throw sanctions on a Venezuelan oil exporter. And instead, because they're all a stack of dipshits over there, he threw sanctions to a small pizzeria in Italy.
No, we can't send the pizza to the United States.
The Trump administration accidentally slapped sanctions on an Italian restaurant and a graphic design studio before the former left office. Trump's last day of office ordered that sanctions be imposed on a network of Venezuelan oil firms and individuals associated with state oil company Petróleos de Venezuela, part of a long-term economic embargo they were trying on Venezuela. But an unfortunate mistake meant that two Italian business owners who shared the same name as a man involved in the Venezuelan oil trade had their businesses targeted in the crackdown. Alessandro Bazzioni, Alessandro Bazzioni, the owner of a pizzeria in the Italian city of Verona, discovered that his business was placed on a U.S. trade blacklist after visiting his local bank. When I heard that my current accounts had been blocked, I thought it was a mistake. He told the local newspaper, "There are already difficult times for us restaurant owners, and the last thing I needed was to have my accounts blocked by the fucking United States government." Another Italian man who is also named Alessandro Bazzoni had his business targeted as well. U.S. Department of Treasury blacklisted his company, Sarah Graphic Lab, according to The Guardian. The Sardinian business owner who declined to offer comment confirmed with the paper that his graphic design studio had been on a sanctions list. The incidents were a clear case of mistaken identity.
CC, we've been sanctioned. CC.
You fucking idiots. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, You better sit down for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, has died. 3 months
died a
shy
long
of
time
100
ago.
years old.
3 months shy
Yeah,
of
he's been
100.
an animated corpse for quite a while.
Yeah, he has been. Oh my God. Yeah, he does. He's looked like The Walking Dead for a while. Just, you get that old, man. Your skin just becomes so translucent and everything, but yeah.
It is, but I am always reminded of that time lapse piece of photography where it's the Queen, Philip, one of the princesses in Prince Charles,
Okay.
standing on the balcony. Harry is standing behind.
Mm-hmm.
In the first photo, they all look normal. The second photo, Philip has this big stupid grin on his face, and the third photo, they're all like, because he farted. Even the Queen is like looking away like, I can't believe this fucker.
I can't believe you just said that.
Harry is just laughing his ass off. It just, it looks funny as hell. And so do I care that he's dead?
So in the end, what you're saying is Prince Philip was a dad to the end, right there, a dad and a grandpa to the end. He had to have he got the fart joke in front of everyone. Awesome.
They're standing on a balcony with like thousands of people beneath them.
Yep.
And he just blows a stink bomb. I think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, honestly, what it comes down to is my only emotional attachment to Prince Philip at all is the fact that Matt Smith played him.
Yeah.
In The Crown.
That was me. It was Matt Smith and Tobias Menzies in The Crown, and it'll soon be Jonathan Pryce for the later years in The Crown. And I'm like, they were able to tell a story and imbue him with so much humanity, even when he was fucking up his own life or fucking up his children's lives. You still kind of understood who he was and why he behaved the way he was, and you felt for him a little bit. And it's like, I can look back now and think, wow, he was an important guy. He didn't always get the best, wasn't always handed the easiest. I mean, he had an easy life, but it wasn't always easy for him. And he was definitely. I mean, the one thing, say what you will about the royal family, he's been by her side this whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Once he quit banging other chicks, according to The Crown.
Exactly.
I need to see that show.
It's really good.
I started it, but I never did get into it. And yeah, everybody's like, so yeah, that's on
Claire
my agenda.
Claire Foy's portrayal of Queen Elizabeth was the younger Queen Elizabeth is amazing. It's just astounding, and I liked his performance more than I liked Olivia Colman's in the middle years. But really, it's more about Charles and Diana and all that shit in the second series,
third series,
yeah. But yeah, it's such a powerful series that shows you this complicated, complex, weirdly privileged, overly privileged family.
Helena Bonham Carter's in it, so I'm all in.
Love her.
Cousin Helena was in it. She was fantastic.
So the BBC has set up a dedicated complaints page for viewers that are sick of blanket coverage of the death of Prince Philip.
I love that.
He was basically your king without being crowned king. You are going to have blanket coverage for a while. That's all there is to it.
It's 8 days of mourning, I believe.
Something like that.
8 days.
And Edinburgh is firing like a 47-gun salute.
Madre de Dios.
Yeah.
It's Saturday, right? That's the burial.
Yeah, and Saturday's the burial, and the burial they're observing all the correct COVID procedures and everything, so it'll be an unusual royal funeral, but yeah.
Okay, I gotta burn this paragraph off because it fucking cracks me up. I mean, and it really is a good contrast between what's on TV here and what's on TV there.
Mm-hmm.
But shortly after the news of the prince's death broke at noon local time last Friday, the BBC was swift in clearing its entire schedule up to 6 p.m. Later in the day, primetime programs such as Master Chef Final, not to mention cult favorite Gardener's World on BBC Two.
You have no idea how popular Gardener's World is. Oh my God.
Man.
That is a huge show there, and their Master Chef there is just is bigger than the Master Chef we have here, and they don't even have fucking Gordon Ramsay. The British guy is only does the American one. He doesn't do the British one. He just franchised it out. And it's huge there. It's huge. Not as big as British Bake Off, but still up there.
British Bake Off is the best.
So, wrapping up our international news, a T-34 tank, an Su-100 artillery towable piece, motored piece, were some of the weapons surrendered during a gun amnesty program in the Czech Republic.
Whoa.
These are private citizens driving in a T-34 and an Su-100, basically saying, oh, yeah, here's our guns.
Okay.
That's one of those things. That's one of those things where you're like, what do I do with this? Oh, man.
So, to quote the government, it said, when we filmed a video on gun amnesty and said with exaggeration that we would accept even a tank, we didn't expect it to inspire the people to actually bring a tank. We presented some of the surrendered items, an SD-100 artillery.
We had no idea Vladimir over there had a tank, but he brought a tank.
I'm like, how do you gas up a tank? I mean, those things just drink. They just drink gas.
Oh, man.
All right. In more news, Georgia Republicans have demanded the removal of Coca-Cola from the office.
I could drink Coke again. Woohoo!
I mean, long stretch, yes.
Yes.
But they were apparently in the room for the bill and didn't say anything until after it got passed and the public went a little apeshit.
And basically threatened a boycott, to which they said, we should probably say something against this. And they said, okay, we'll say something against it. And then
I think if you're going to drink it, you should drink it with a bad attitude.
I've got nothing but that. So.
Got that in spades.
Slasheva.
Slasheva. Yeah, I did Instacart to get some groceries the other day, and it was like, it's got that little scrolly across the top that says, buy it again. And that's how I shop. I just go, yeah, I need that. Don't need that. Yeah, I need that. Don't need that. Yeah, I need that. And I was thinking I don't have any bubbly caffeinated beverages. And when I bought my Pepsi Zero, I actually went to the store and bought Pepsi Zero, and so on this one, and then it showed up at the door and I was like, oh, fuck, I did it again. So it was just habit. I'm still a Pepsi guy for now. And the thing is much like Mitt Romney in the 2002 Olympics, I don't think Pepsi was in the room to be a good guy corporate sponsor, nor do they have headquarters in Atlanta.
Nor do they, and nor do they care who's, whether or not the GOP wants to drink. Well, they're probably all about the GOP switching out their vending machines, but still, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not.
No, their corporate headquarters isn't in Atlanta. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I give you permission to Google while I move on.
I'm doing that. Yeah.
Senator McConnell. You know what? This deserves a little bit of noise. So let me get that up. But man, this fucking turtle opened his fucking yap and just let noises fall out. And
that's normal for him. But sometimes
for a guy that no, because he's an asshole, but he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Is this was a dumb moment for him. This is going to bite him in the ass. Probably. This is probably going to bite him in the ass. It may not. He may be squirrely enough to get out of it. But here we go. Let's listen here.
And corporations are being made to choose here. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is criticizing corporate CEOs who have come out against the Georgia voting law.
I found it completely discouraging to find a bunch of corporate CEOs getting in the middle of politics. My advice to the corporate CEOs of America is to stay out of politics.
Sure.
Sure. Big fights.
Sure you do.
Business to stay out of politics, but the AP notes McConnell is, quote, among the most outspoken champions of the role of big money in elections, promoting the free flow of undisclosed dollars to campaigns as a form of constitutionally protected free speech. That is true, Jonathan Lemire, as your Associated Press points out. But Republicans like Marco Rubio and Mitch McConnell and across the country, Governor Kemp even, believe that they are onto something here, that they have hypocrisy in their hands with the corporations, with Democrats who, in fact, are lying about parts of this law in order to win the political day.
There is another quote where somebody called him on it, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean political donations."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're gonna have to take this one on the chins, dummy.
There was
The chins.
our local political cartoonist Pat Begley did a cartoon on that. He had Mitch McConnell, very staunchly standing there saying, "I think corporations should stay out of politics." And then the next panel is him. "I don't mean your money. I don't mean your money."
So there was today, as we record this, a call with at least 100 and maybe more corporate CEOs talking about maybe not giving any more money to politicians. I'd like to point out for all of no, stop. They're gonna boycott everybody.
Yeah.
Dems didn't fucking screw the pooch on this one. They
I
deserve
don't have
a little
a problem
bit of
with
cashola.
that much money going out. I have no problem with corporate money being taken out of everybody's pocket.
Yeah,
That's me.
I honestly think I feel the same way. I think that we should be getting back to a grassroots level politics.
I agree with both of you, but for at least maybe one cycle, I would like it to be punitive.
Okay.
And I would like
I get that. That's fair. That's totally fair.
One election cycle.
I can support a one cycle suffrage of the Republicans, and then we can
2022 corporate money to Democrats only, and then just stop.
And then just get out all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's at least
He's in New
teach
York.
them
Let's get their money.
Yeah. Why not? That makes me happy.
I can think of an Italian pizzeria in Italy that needs to give to the Democrats.
They can provide the pizzas to those waiting in line to vote too.
Exactly.
I just can't imagine waking up one morning to find out that the United States State's Department has fucking sanctioned your pizza pie shop.
What the fuck did I do?
I can't. What do you mean I can't use my credit card? What the fuck?
They were listening in about me bashing Trump. How the hell?
How do I make it a pizza pie without the money? I gotta have the money to make it the pizza pie. Pizza pie. And yeah, you know what? You go ahead and call the Italian Defamation League. I don't care.
They're white.
It's me, a Mario. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay, this one was pretty cool. The CDC director said that racism is, quote, a serious public health threat, end quote. I agree with this. If Utah could say that pornography is a public health threat in the most polluted fucking city in the United States, and some days the world, I absolutely believe that racism is a public health threat.
Well, it actually is, where pornography is not.
Not so much. And I mean, it really comes down to is this is an example of a government agency opening up and saying something smart, and serious for the people that it's there to serve. But the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention last Thursday declared racism as a serious public health threat. Quote, a growing body of research shows that centuries of racism in this country has had a profound and negative impact on communities of color. This quote is from Rochelle Walensky, the CDC director. She said in a statement published to the agency's website. She noted that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has been felt most severely in communities of color, which have experienced disproportionate case counts and deaths. To quote again, to build a healthier America for all, we must confront the systems and policies that have resulted in the generational injustice that has given rise to racial and ethnic health inequities.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I dig it. I absolutely dig it. And I hope that this is something that is headed in a direction and not just a one-off.
Yeah.
Because we've got Trump emails as we are investigating the previous administration. There are Trump officials that were celebrating efforts to change CDC reports on the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Political appointees trying to blunt scientific findings that they deemed unfavorable to Trump. This is coming out of a House probe. But Trump appointees in the Department of Health and Human Services last year privately touted their efforts to block or alter scientist reports on the coronavirus to more closely align with former President Donald Trump's more optimistic messages about the outbreak.
Lies, not optimistic. They were lies.
Yes. The documents provide further insight into how senior Trump officials approached last year's explosion of the coronavirus cases in the United States. Even as career government scientists worked to combat the virus, a cadre of Trump appointees was attempting to blunt the scientist message, editing their findings and equipping the president with an alternative set of talking points. Lies.
Yep.
I believe you said so eloquently, by giving him papers full of bullshit.
Yep. That was, it doesn't come as a surprise to me because you have interdepartmentally the agencies tend to just work with each other, and the political appointees don't usually get into the middle of that. There's no reason for them to. So we were getting all the CDC stuff directly and then reposting it through our stuff onto our website and everything. But I'm the one posting this stuff, reading the CDC stuff and going, so this is how bad this is. This is what this is. And then you watch a press conference with Trump and you're like, how is he not getting this memo that I've got right here in front of me? What the fuck? And it's because his appointees were trying to pull that away so that it wouldn't look unfavorably toward him, because he wanted to pass this off as nothing more than the flu and downplay it so that 300,000 or 400,000 more people in this country would die from a disease that they shouldn't have died from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Biden's task force on the border has found over 5,500 files that they believe will identify more migrant families separated under Trump. A senior Department of Homeland Security official said that the files, which are from 2017, may reveal additional families who have not yet been identified. President Joe Biden's Family Separation Task Force made this announcement last Wednesday, saying, quote, "We found the list we had when we came in was not comprehensive and included large time frames that had not been reviewed," said the official. The official said the new files may reveal a few additional families who have not yet been identified. The new files are from the Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement between January 20th, 2017 and July 2017, a time period not included in the ACLU's lawsuit against the Trump administration over family separations.
I want somebody to pay for
2,800 families were separated during the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy in mid-2018. The lawyers have said previously that more than 1,000 others had been separated prior to the policy's official implementation. It's criminal.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely fucking criminal. And the fact that they hid a bunch of shit before they walked out the door, I think all I could say is thank God they didn't shred it.
Yeah.
Somebody had the wherewithal to hide the files from the people that were probably destroying the files. Because that we don't have it yet is not entirely surprising to me, but it will not surprise me when down the line, maybe in a year or two, we find out that there were shredding parties, that there were file destruction parties. I won't be surprised. I won't.
There shouldn't be any shock toward that. I'm surprised they haven't announced it yet, but we're only a few hundred days in. So we're only 100 and something days in. So yeah.
Yeah. And so to close us out, this little piece of good news, Democratic lawmakers have joined a lawsuit that accuses Trump and Giuliani of conspiring to incite the January 6th riot. 10 Democratic members of Congress last Wednesday joined the lawsuit, basically claiming that they violated a 19th century statute, which I believe was the KKK Act. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Karen Bass, Steve Cohen, Bonnie Watson, Veronica Escobar, Hank Johnson, Marcy Kaptur, Barbara Lee, Gerald Nadler, Pamela Jayapal, or Pramila Jayapal.
Pramila Jayapal.
Pramila.
I think so.
Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters is easier to say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they all jumped on board, and I wish them the best of luck. Way to go, gang. Good job. Good show. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this week's The Left Show.
Awesome.
Isn't that nice? Anything we want to say on the way out the door?
Yeah.
Hey, folks, just to remind you about Patreon. One of the things that I constantly promise to do for our regular patrons on Patreon is send out their gift bags. And I am finally set up to do that. I got the stamps.com. I got some bags. I got some stickers. I got some other shit in the closet that's just been sitting there waiting for me to get my shit together. And those are going to start going out now. So if you want in on Jeff's big surprise box, if you know what I mean.
Hey, baby.
Now's the time to pop over to patreon.com/defenmedia, DEFEN media, and join us, won't you? Because that's where we're going to talk about the rest of this week's news is over on Patreon. Patreon.com/defenmedia. Should we let the British lady finish us off?
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Good night, ladies.
If you've made it this far, you might as well join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/defenmedia. This episode and more always available at www.theleftshow.com.